Let's return now to the future of Sir Philip Green's retail empire, Arcadia Group. Votes are being counted as landlords behind Topshop, Selfridge and Burton decide the fate of 18,000 staff and hundreds of stores. Joined by retail analyst Kate Hardcastle. Hey Kate, thanks for joining us. How have they found themselves in this position?
A lot of different factors. We know the high street is struggling. We know that the middle market within retail is struggling. Fashion's got more competition, offering better value. They have a great online presence with many of these brands that don't need physical retail stores, which can be expensive. And unfortunately, perhaps a lack of investment in a lot of the brands belonging to the Arcadia Group mean that people have fallen out of love with the brands, and still we purchase emotionally, and still we want to be within the peer groups of our friends. So as a lot of these brands concern a younger consumer, it has to be of the moment, of the most trend, and it just shows how quickly the fall from grace can happen, because Topshop, who was kind of the lead name in all of these brands, was the brand we were all talking about just 10 years ago when the likes of Beyonce were involved, and you thought it was unbeatable.
It wasn't. We're looking at a situation
would just be too challenging for that amount of stores to continue anyway. So they would have a massive reduction, maybe 200-300 stores. It doesn't mean if it doesn't go through that all the jobs would be at risk either, because perhaps some of those brands would be sold off individually. Having a look at all those brands and the figures today, really there's only the outfit brand that are doing well, which I would imagine is down to the fact it's quite budget in terms of its fashion affordable. But still some of those brands have legacies and people might want to take them on.
Yeah, I mean, names like Topshop, Burton, they've been on the high street forever, haven't they?
The Arcadia Group, you know, it forms its heritage from so many years ago, Burton particularly over 100 years old. And there is this wonderful emotional element that these brands, BHS before it, Woolworths, they've got legacy and we remember them and we have fondness for them. But if we don't shop them, there's no future. And unfortunately, a lot of these brands, particularly the likes of Dorothy Perkins, have seen a fading in their glory as other brands have come into the marketplace. Retail is a really challenging marketplace to be in, and my sympathy is absolutely with all the people who work so hard to bring it to life in the online delivery rooms and also on the floors. But unfortunately, it's survival of the fittest out there.
Where are you with the online debate? Do you think that it is down to online, or do you think it's just that companies like Arcadia have just not moved with the times?
Arcadia can't say they didn't see this coming. The internet didn't appear like a genie in a lamp a couple of years ago. It's been 20 years, 30 years in the making. If you have taken profits out of a business, if you've relished in the good times and not reinvested, you are going to find it challenging right now. And I think that's true of a lot of retail brands. So I wouldn't just beat Arcadia over the head with that one. I think a lot of our big department stores, our middle market brands have made hay while the sun shines, and then not put enough back in the bank and in the investment of the future of the company. So online is more in terms of consumer use. They love it because it's quick, it's easy, you don't get parking fines, they like things delivering into the house. It doesn't mean it's, you know, a business where it doesn't have its challenges and its costs as well. The amount of returns online business, fashion business get are huge. But I think you had to keep up with online, you had to have a great online offer, and if you were in traditional retail, you had to move that offer on as well.
What's your best guess on what's going to happen?
Oh, it is to say there's a wafer thin, Kate, is an understatement on this one, because we've got suppliers in the room who want to get paid. We've got some property companies who can see a future for those units if they don't have Arcadia as part of that. We have some property owners in there who can't see who would fill the spaces without Arcadia, so it's the best of a bad job. It is absolutely wafer thin. I think it might just make it, but my concern is, what are people buying into? Because I just can't see a strong enough future without radical change, which will mean store closures, job losses, and some of those brands disappearing. I would definitely put my hat on that one, Kay, that you and I will be talking about that if it goes ahead.
Kate, you don't come on the show often enough. It's always great to talk to you. Come back soon. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Talking Sense. Kate Hardcastle, waiting to hear what's happening with Arcadia. We'll bring that up for you in the next hour.